Hello, I'm Suzanne, and this is our Zoom shot experiment on the Alternate Perspective platform. I'm the host, producer, and editor of this platform, and today's Zoom chat is about David's journey being a peace walker through this great way to Washington, D.C. I will pass it over to him.
Thank you, Suzanne. Yes, since our program on your alternate perspectives with Jose Munoz, the Mayan calendar keeper, and Chumash elder Art Cisneros, I left Santa Barbara and I'm now in Taos, in New Mexico, with my friend, the Reverend Yamato. You hearing me okay?
Yeah, I'm hearing you okay. You just went pretty far since the last time I saw you.
Pardon me?
You went pretty far since the last time I saw you.
Yes, that was, I believe, on the 25th or thereabouts of May. And then after that, I went to Los Angeles, just intending to pass through, but wound up spending a week there. And then went to Tucson, and we got a proclamation from the mayor of Tucson proclaiming a year of unity, harmony, and peace in respect of this project, the Great Spirit, All My Relations, Relay Marathon, Walk, and Caravan, going across country, whistle stop tour, but then main event walking July 11th to August 30th from Atlanta, from the Jimmy Carter Center to the King Center to the White House to deliver the message of peace to the president after a 9-day Forum for Global Peace, a spiritual unity summit in Greenbelt Park, Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C. And then that'll be a council of elders to consider the messages that we've collected from the various mayors' proclamations, and organizations and individuals want to offer their message of peace to the president. That'll all be counseled about and put out on the internet for that 9-day conference before the last day walk into the White House to offer the peace pole ceremony with the president and put the message of peace in his hand in that way. This, of course, is inspired, as I may have mentioned last time, by Jose Munoz's reading of the Mayan calendar for the next 26,000 years that started December 21st, 2012. And from that, and the message that he gave us 3 years ago in Santa Barbara about the Jade Princess prophecy, this is a promise of world peace starting in the year 2021. Then I'm supporting Jose Munoz in this project, and he's doing 100 constructions of the Mayan calendar replica, a 30-foot diameter dream catcher with a special structure in the middle that he calls a manifestation state. But this has the 20 symbols of the previous calendar for the 26,000 years ending December 21st, 2012. Then also has 5 new symbols for the new 26,000 year calendar. Now, Jose, after our ceremony on March 11th, when the mayor of Santa Barbara put the symbol on our global peace pole of the 3 faiths of Jerusalem united in peace, then Jose gave us one of these 5 symbols to put on to complete the symbols on the global peace pole, which is the symbol in the new calendar for peace, love, and patience. So, before I introduced a little better Reverend Yamato, the peace pole idea, my only real understanding comes from seeing a picture of a peace pole that Nipponzan Myohoji made, and it just has a Namo Myoho Renge Kyo on it. That's great. And that's how they use the peace pole as a seed to kind of help bring the prayer, the energy to build the peace pagoda, the stupa. But Reverend Yamato is not the Nipponzan Myohoji Buddhist order, but the Zen order. But the practicing and chanting Guruji's mantra, the Namo Myoho Renge Kyo from St. Nichiren, and the drum that Guruji added from his grandmother, who's a shaman, Ainu lineage. And then he grew up in a monastery, went to monastery school. This is when I first met him in 1978, he brought what I call the ecumenical peace pole ceremony to the United States. This was at the Oregon gathering Rainbow Gathering in 1978. So what this means is the wisdom mind to expand. The Namo Myoho Renge Kyo is not just a Buddhism. It's everything. So offer other people the opportunity to put their symbols for the message of peace on the peace pole. The Christian, the Jewish, whatever, pagan, anything, put their sacred symbol for peace on the peace pole with the Namam Myoho Renge Kyo Daimu calligraphy. Then that creates the what I call ecumenical interfaith peace pole. So this has been my inspiration. We've done this many times over the years. Created a peace pole in 1980 that went to many rainbow gatherings and then finally wore out. Now created a new one, first called the Rainbow Uprising Peace Pole. They had the three symbols, the Namam Myoho Renge Kyo, the symbol of the great law of peace, of the symbol of the Tree of Peace is a symbol of the great law of peace of the Iroquois Confederacy that ended warfare and violence 1,000 years ago. The Namam Myoho Renge Kyo is a symbol of the message of peace that ended warfare and violence 2,200 years ago and brought about 500 years of prosperity, no crime, no violence. And then the Hopi Declaration of Peace symbol, the third one. And then I used that for a couple of years to replace the peace, got worn out. And then this year added the three more symbols, the one the mayor put on my mayor, Santa Barbara, Three Faiths of Jerusalem United, then the Spiritual Unity of All Faiths United symbol from the Sri Satya Sai Baba organization in India that features in the center of the peace pole, similar to the ones made 2,200 years ago that ended violence, the Lotus Stupa, and then the All Faiths United symbols around it. And then, okay, I'll show you the design, but good point. What did I do with it? Anyway, so then the last one is the Mayan symbol, the peace, love, and patience. So these are 6 symbols that comprise what I'm now calling the Global Peace Pole. It's an open source project, so anybody can download the graphic and make their own peace pole or peace baton or whatever, just those symbols, and then there's a description online of what the messages mean, a summary better than what I just gave. So I was inspired, but not always on the right track. I know he doesn't agree with everything I've done, my friend Yamato, but now we've come together again since 2 years ago when I participated in his annual Global Peace Walk here from from Taos to Santa Fe. Did the Harmon come in yet? No. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll have to wait. Maybe we'll get Harmon online with the radio part later. So I left Santa Barbara, and then also on the Global Peace Walk in 1995, Reverend Yamato, the initiator, the Global Peace Walk, the project, this gradual evolvement over the years since 1978 when I met him, and then after he came back from the monastery in 1985, working more closely together on different projects. 1990 was the Rainbow Uprising campaign, a week of events in Santa Barbara with the Mohawk chief Jake Swamp at the Tree of Peace, giving the message of the great law of peace. After a week of events, and then the Thomas Banyaka, the Hopi interpreter, and then the Ponzam Yohoji monks, and then Reverend Yamato, and we had a meeting with the Tibetan monks, comparing mutual prophecy fulfillment. All that's on the video online called the Rainbow Uprising campaign on YouTube. But the idea is this concept of just people coming together around the symbol of the message of peace, and that there's 2 cultures that we know of that eliminated war and violence simply by the leaders accepting the message of peace brought to them with an open heart, and no fighting, just change. That's what we want to see with our government and through our president that we have right now, to offer the message of peace, and then bring the open heart and the better decisions to come. So in the 1995, after our Rainbow Uprising campaign, then the actor John Voight spoke at the end, filling in for Thomas Banyaka because he had to go to the Global Forum in Russia. John explained his relationship with the Iroquois and Hopi and Chumash spiritual leaders, and he discussed the Hopi prophecy about the House of Micah, the United Nations, and the door hadn't been opened yet. And he gave the background on how the elders first went and discovered what that meant. But then 2 years later, it was fulfilled. And the opening of the door of the House of Micah was helped a great deal spiritually by several connections over the years that was made between the Hopi interpreter Thomas Banyaka, His Holiness the Dalai Lama in ceremony and various meetings, facilitated by Reverend Yamato, whose relationship with His Holiness Dalai Lama has been kind of behind the ability to bring Thomas to the United Nations on October of 1991 and have a formal ceremony where the eagle feather Thomas was given in 1948 for this purpose was given to the Secretary General's secretary to open the door to the indigenous people to speak at the United Nations for the first time to the General Assembly. So this happened a year later, December 10th, 1992, and then the Reverend Yamato was there then as well, after escorting Thomas to the door with that ceremony with the feather. And 82 indigenous leaders came, 20 got to speak. The Harmon Houghton and Clearlight Publishing has published a book, and there's different references to the speeches that were given at the UN at that time. And then, so the Global Peace Walk initiative in 1995 was towards the United Nations to bring the message of peace to the United Nations and out to the public by that way. So the first year, 1995, we walked from New York to San Francisco, starting on Martin Luther King's birthday, ending on the anniversary of the first signing of the United Nations Charter, June 26th. In the year 2000, the walk back across country from San Francisco to New York. At the first time at the end, in October of 1995, Reverend Yamato was able to, by spirit moving, to meet the President of the General Assembly and deliver personally, hand-to-hand, the report on walk and all the messages of proclamations from governors and mayors and so forth. And then this time, 1990, every year after that, he moved to Taos, and every year after that, they've done the Global Peace Walk from Santa Fe at the Rosario Cemetery, where some of the remaining ancestors of the Japanese concentration camp they had here during World War II are buried. Walking from their prayer ceremony to Taos, the Earth Day tree planting ceremony. If I see Chris on the line, it may be his sound in the background that's creating this sort of distortion. I'm not sure, but anyway, this is the real. This time, the focus is the White House, and I don't know yet to what extent Yamato's going to be able to participate. But my plan, we went to Tucson, we got the proclamation. This time, instead of asking for global peace zone for the city or global peace walk day or something, I'm asking, based on my Chumash elders' last words to me, unity, harmony, and peace. That's the three key things, the Jose Munoz message. That way I put in asking the mayors for a proclamation of unity, harmony, and peace because of the coming of the Great Spirit Relay. And the first one to respond is the Tucson mayor. We got a proclamation. The same day we had a noon walk around the block, 3:30 in the afternoon, they agreed to do the proclamation. So this seems to be so far very well received. Other mayors, Albuquerque, Flagstaff, Santa Fe, still processing the request. And I had a scrounge gas and a difficult time, thanks to many people donating gas money for me to get here. But I missed the Santa Fe schedule, so I have to go back and do that. But still, the mayors have the information, and our people in Santa Fe will help follow up on that. So this time I want to take the message to the president. And by way of me telling you this is I'm also telling Reverend Yamato this because I haven't explained all these details before. But I think I started with mentioning that the reason I'm inspired to do this project is because of the promise of peace in the year 2021, and the fact that Jose Munoz is doing 100 different of these calendar installations. The next one after Barbara that was in April is in the Standing Rock Medicine Wheel Living Park, June 22nd to 24th. And then I'm hoping to join him there, but I'm just one guy, a retiree. I get a small Social Security check. I know that on June 20th on my check, I can make it to Atlanta to initiate, gather with the people in that area and conduct the walk. This project, the Great Spirit All My Relations Relay, was created by my first teacher I took up the drum from, Masao Napashi, then a monk with Nikunda Myohoji. And then I asked him, what does your name mean? And he said, Napashi means sun bridge, rainbow. And then I asked him what his first name meant, Masao. He says, People Man. But that's a Hopi word for the Great Spirit is the same sound, Masao. Then he connected us with, we went a walk to Los Angeles, introduced the Japanese monks to Thomas Banyaka. And then Nipashi walked across the United States 4 times, Continental Walk 76, Longest Walk 78, the Long Walk for Survival that Reverend Yamato was a coordinator. And then 1982, the World Peace March, 4 directions from all around the world to the UN, the Sun Dancer, everything. So we created this project, but he picked the name, Great Spirit, All My Relations, Relay Marathon, Walk and Caravan, even where the commas should go, because it's a kind of event where I can plan it, and I know I can't. I have one guy and I have an RV, right? So I know I can't walk and drive the way from Atlanta to Washington all by myself. So I plan to go to each city, walk around the block, the city hall.
March. Can we kind of say, we're trying to march for peace, which is the I have a dream. So maybe we're doing something like that. I mean, not exactly, but close.
Yeah, but so I'm hoping that by my commitment of my meager funds to take my RV, which will make it, with 4 bunk beds, to the Rainbow Gathering in the north-southeast, and recruit caravan and walkers and runners and bicyclers and motorcyclers and whatever it takes to go from Atlanta to a series of scheduled cities on the way to Washington, D.C., to walk around the block, each city hall, get a proclamation from the mayor, and be on time. If we have to walk, run, ride bikes, or whatever, that's the idea. The Global Peace Walk, people go, oh, did you walk every step of the way? Well, no, we had to skip here because of that. It doesn't look good. That's why this is a different format, Nobody can complain. This is the Great Spirit, All My Relations, Relay, Marathon, Walk, and Caravan. So this is the concept. And then we have also I guess I'll show you the symbol I have. I brought it. Oh, I didn't bring it. Okay, so where do you want to go from here?
Well, I would believe that it's best to introduce Yamamoto. We are almost 30 minutes in, so maybe we should start introducing.
Very good. Okay, well, I would like to give Reverend Yamato the floor then to offer his message for the occasion, and I'm gonna offer a little invocation first, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Then your message?
All my relation, the whole universe. The time is come, all future generation once again make circle to hold the hand together. Pray for the global peace. This globe is our house and altar. Must be all living being, one mind, one vehicle, one consciousness, to protect our future and our life. Very important for the future generation. This day, the all-time relocation period.
a wonderful Buddha setting ground, somebody coming to move to land. That's real hard this day, the resting area find safety place to look for. Not only land, water itself. The most 2 years ago, you had to understand how to buy the water. This day, the real hard to find real pure water. All polluted. The air too polluted. I pray for the all living being, the earth and the water and the fire and the air, the global community. This globe is only our house and the altar. All my relation to pray, all future generation must be the all four direction dance. Our prayer and our attitude, action, someday reach other side of the world, bring a knowledge of mind and the symbol of peace. So I say, thank you. Living God, oh my friend, oh our friend. Remember, our future protect our.
Oh no. It got frozen. I don't know if you can hear me.
Long time human being.
We can hear you.
Oh yeah.
And, all human being discover outside the world.
Mhm.
Forget the inner world discover. Inner world, the all treasure, inner world, everything. That's why once again discover this world, same time discover the inner world.
So it,
Oh my friend, this is only our house and the altar, this globe. That's why, as a human being, thank you, my friend.
thank you. I just wanted to mention that it seems that your Wi-Fi is a little spotty, so you were freezing a little bit there. And I do have a message on the chat from Chris Brown that says that learning that Reverend Yamamoto is about his people and whatnot. He was reminded of a certain indigenous medicine man, and that he is bringing back a sunbow, or he's bringing back a tapestry from his place, and it's going to take him 15 minutes.
Yeah, let's bring Chris to talk about it.
Yeah, he'll be back in 15 minutes. He's actually picking up the tapestry.
Okay.
So, but it was from a ceremony in Summerland. He will explain it better than I am. But
okay. I know Chris Brown very well since 1976. I haven't been around him that much, but I connected with him strongly during my walks in Santa Barbara and the events we had. He was the one who helped produce the rally in the park in Isla Vista with his sound system and his experience. And he's really spent a long time in his life working with the local Chumash people and knows their knowledge. And he has a whole concept of how to bring the great law of peace into the peace movement through using the Constitution in the proper way to create peace. That's what he was talking about before we started, and it's all perfect, good information. But now it's time.
Adjust your microphone.
Okay.
Yeah, now I got
better?
it. Yeah, your audio. Moved the thing and the audio got lost for a second.
Okay, is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so while we're waiting for Chris, I'm sorry Harmon didn't get on the line, but I'm going to tell a little bit about Harmon Houghton, because I'm going to ask him to come on our podcast radio thing an hour after we're done here. I'll be going on the line with do a radio telephone in type of thing, and I hope Harmon Houghton will be with us then. He tried to get in and couldn't right now, but I met him the other day again in Santa Fe at his home, and so he's going to help us with the connection with the mayor of Santa Fe, not only for a possible message from Santa Fe mayor for me to carry with the walk to the White House to deliver to the president, but also the most important is Yamato's vision, the 2020, which is the 75th anniversary of the United Nations. October 24th is the 75th anniversary where they ratified the charter. They signed the charter in June, and the charter they signed in June said, we prohibit the mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction are prohibited. The United States signed the charter in June of 1945, and other nations, and then they bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the middle, and then I herded all the nations for fear to the United Nations, which is signed on October 24th, the ratification, don't blow us up, we'll agree, kind of thing. And then that's why 75th anniversary this time of the United Nations final charter signing, October 24th, Yamato's vision to have a global peace forum for the not many prominent speakers, but the focus to bring for the first time together in person the Holiness the Pope and the Holiness the Dalai Lama. It may happen that they have to come in by video conference because of security or this or that. Santa Fe isn't that big to handle the crowds that would come with either one of them, but we'll work it out. And already 2 years ago, we met with the existing mayor then, and he got his support. And then I spent a long time putting ideas down, the forumforglobalpeace.com. And then now I'm turning it all over to the committee, whoever Yamato picks to organize it with the city of Santa Fe to make this happen in the year 2020. And I consulted with experts who have done these kind of big conferences before. They said, oh, this is a $15 million project. It'll take 2 years to organize it. You have to pay 6 people $100,000 each that are really expert at doing what they're doing to produce this kind of event. Otherwise, forget it. So that's why I'm targeting to raise $15 million by October 24th of this year, so that we can pay those and find those best 6 producers between now and October 24th to pay $100,000 a year for the 2 years starting October 24th this year to produce this event in Santa Fe, October 2020. Now, this is a cycle of things towards the overall global peace, because already Jose Munoz is committed to make these 100 calendars all around the world, these dream catcher calendar temples by 2021. And he already has scheduled December 21st, 2021 ceremony marking the beginning of global peace. This is a completion. He said the last time we met, he said, this is a completion of a ceremonial cycle that began on June 21st in the year 1444 in Guatemala, when at that time all the tribes from North and South America pilgrimaged to this place in the Maya to have this big meeting where they were given their calendars, their bird symbols, and they went back to their directions with warning that they were going to be destroyed by the incoming onslaught of the Europeans if they didn't follow the instructions they were given at this meeting on June 21st, 1444. One of the speakers then was the Jade Princess, who delivered a message from the year 2029 saying that there's world peace by 2021. So that's why Jose's got this scheduled ceremony, December 21st, 2021, the marking the beginning of world peace. Looks like we just lost everything. Are you still there?
You're still there. I still hear you. Everything's still recording.
Okay, well, something bumped and I don't see anything. Maybe this. Let's see. Okay, my mouse moved by itself.
What, how about what start global peace walk? I explain.
Yes.
Living a globe, all my friend, all our friend. Beginning 30 some years ago, Spirit told protect this globe. Only this globe is everything. That's why happened long human history, sunrise to sunset. war and the war and the war and the war. Now it's the edge of universe. Some global citizen carrying a symbol of peace to facing a symbol of rising sun. To open up a rising sun gate, to more deep inside bring light. Now the edge of universe, 1993, and hobby prophecy spokesman Thomas Banaha, I escort to the UN General Assembly. He speak 45 minutes on sister's story. This nation doesn't listen to nature of life. Someday other nation shooting a missile. That all future generation, oh, nuclear is a danger to seriously discover that. Look at the northern sky, already missile there. Then always coming, he talking about the New Mexico. Then he talking about other people ask a question. If not the New Mexico, where? He said California, maybe reach in New York. This is real seriously. But this is the 1992 area General Assembly, already have a record. But right now, exactly somebody set up the real seriously think about our future and our life. Our born land, small land, California. The 91 nuclear power plant last century. Right now, the 63 nuclear power plant. All the patent is made in United States. That something happened 72 years ago called a human testing ground. Test everything. That's I remember what happened the human history. Look to future. To protect our life. All living beings. Earth and water and fire and the air and the global community. All suffering. This is a way of life with a base, foundation of way of life. That's why all indigenous people between land and life. Not only African people, not all over Russia, United States, Canada, Central America, South America. Just a few weeks ago, indigenous peoples and gathering UN. All over people suffering between 5 elements. That's why I say, living a global, my friend or a friend. Global peace. This globe is the only house on the altar. Not your house, my house. Thank you, all my friend.
We do. I'm going to unmute Chris for a second because he does have a tapestry he wants to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute him.
Yes, we'd like to hear from Chris. As I mentioned, when you were gone, Chris, I know you're very knowledgeable in the Chumash relationships you have and your understanding of many, many things in your constitutional peace movement. So I welcome your comments. Looking forward to what you have to say.
Thank you, David. I appreciate Reverend Yamamoto very much. His words are definitely comprehensive to our situation. I would explain the tapestry as being given to me by a medicine man named John. I cannot remember his last name. He was with the Sunbo 5 walk. He had gone to Hokkaido and he had met with the Ainu people. And I had explained to you that I was raised unconsciously in a trance by the Chumash medicine people. And that was maintained for 38 years without my knowledge. And then they woke me up. About 3 or 4 years before that is when John, at this ceremony, presented me with this tapestry, which is all machine-made woven cloth, but it is hand embroidered by the Ainu people. And he presented it to me, and other information which may not come from him, but might come from Rick Castaneda, who is also known as Akimahus. He's the Chumash movie star. He explained to me that John had entered into a trance with these Ainu people, and when they had explained to, or when he had explained to them that I had been operating in this trance state, absorbing their sacred knowledge for all these tapestry give to me. And so there's to the Ainu, the oneness have Reverend Moto very much. Hopefully maintains. The U.S. Constitution has natural law from the Creator that was integrated there by the white framers from First Nations indigenous law. The First Amendment and the Ninth Amendment. The Ninth Amendment is certain rights enumerated in the Constitution shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. This is known as the Reserved Rights Doctrine. So between the First Amendment and the Ninth Amendment, we have retained peace as a right. Peace is a right which is retained. And with peace, we can preserve nature. We can preserve the air and water. And so peace is primary to work for. And I'm hoping that people can understand that state citizens can use the Constitution upon their state legislations, and in a majority, they can gain control of their state legislations and then direct them to amend the federal Constitution and the First Amendment to include the greater meaning of speech, which comes from an understanding between people, and from the understanding come forgiveness, tolerance, acceptance, respect, trust, friendship, and love, protecting life and liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The last three are all that is included in the Declaration of Independence, because the Tories were paying the community in gold to oppose the framers trying to include that. They hoped to get it into the First Amendment in 1792, but they were defeated there. So the First Amendment is deficient. All speech looks to be equal because it's all free, but it is not all equal. That speech which protects life is the ultimate speech. And all of the unalienable rights that life depends on is the ultimate speech. And our Constitution needs to say that, so that the government has a standard to compare the people's speech to, and when they speak to preserve life and unalienable rights, the government must support it, so that the great power of money cannot pervert the purpose of free speech. So by doing this, we end secrecy, because secrecy is maintained by media, which is controlled by money. They are corporations. And by using the Ninth Amendment, we assert our sovereignty as individuals and then as states. And then by having the First Amendment serve its purpose, the purpose of free speech, we become informed, we become educated, we become unified, we become organized, we become coordinated to stop the infiltrated government from colluding with corporations to conduct war, to control resource, and dominate humanity and life on this planet. Thank you very much, David. And thank you, Suzanne.
No problem. I will unmute David. David, go ahead. And thank you so much, Chris, for what you said. Oh, no. Okay. So I will continue to pass that on to you, David. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I just realized that nobody else in the room can hear when you're talking or when Chris was talking because I
Oh,
have the headsets on. So I was unplugging and plugging to try to get the speakers so Yamato could hear, but I didn't do very well. So anyway, we can, the recording I'm sure we'll play the recording to take a look later.
The recording, yes.
yeah, I will, of course, pass on the recording to you. And as we said, this is also like our first bash, and we will get better at this.
I didn't see the tapestry that Chris was going to hold up, I don't think.
If you could hold it up, he held it up while Yamamoto was talking. So,
Okay.
but you could see it again.
Let's switch. Yeah, let's give him a good shot of it so we can have that on the recording. I don't see it. I mean, I see that little one. Okay? I can hardly see because it's so small.
It's about 18 inches, about 2 feet.
Okay. And then what's the origin of this? Who made it?
This is created by the Ainu people.
Okay. Then very good. Thank you very much for showing it. And that way people can see. Then because of his Ainu heritage and because you brought it up, and these are the indigenous people of Japan, before the Asian invasion took over their land, just like in the United States, the European invasion took over the native people's land here. If you want, maybe we can ask Reverend Yamato to explain a little bit about the Ainu culture and message and so forth.
Yeah,
I
would love if he actually explained that a bit further. Yeah, you can tell him for me.
Our ancestor, brother, grandfather, great-grandfather period related to marry Ainu people and the Buddhist people. But our ancestor living other side of the Pacific Ocean was 1800 year. All history move around island to island. See, I just this time I come from the last ceremony Japan at the Nara Yoshino Tenkawa Shrine. This is our ancestors 800 years ago, the spiritual capital. And now the national heritage site. Another one is the northern part of Japan. A year and a half ago, 2 years ago, another heritage site. This altar is directly Buddha, almost 600 year sitting altar. This Buddha is a witness of what happened under this world 600 year setting altar to witness. Now the national heritage site. Our people is almost 500 year head of the mind. That's why all culture is 500 year, 500 year, 500 year. So I find out Buddha's talking about the prophecy, the 500 year, 5 times later. They already passed the Buddha's history 2,500 years. That's why it's gonna happen. Everything possible. Pretty soon the people doesn't take care nature of way of life. The pretty soon earthquake coming, water shortage, the wind, more mineral under the ground, mineral and the gas and the oil and the all kind of thing too much. Pretty soon the wind strong and strong, 50 mile 80 mile, 100 mile. Thomas said maybe 150-mile wind coming. That's why atmosphere housing is all blow up. That's why real careful global situation and the future generation. That's why I said year 2000, usually president invite to White House to communicate our future. All indigenous people suffering. That before and black snake coming this world and have to communicate. That's why I visit year 2000. Not only United States, America, all North America, the Indian spiritual leader brought to White House and include two lawyers. But the president visit Israel and Palestine airplane to go to Israel. That's why our cruiser visit eat lunch, but no can meet and the president. The president sent me the environment secretary, but Indian people talking about treaty, another different thing. That's why you know our movement of people is protect the future and way of life. You know, that's why fighting for the pray for the global peace. All living being, include the cockroach and the termite. Nothing reason to and sacrifice elk and the deer and the eagle on the street. Intelligent broad road and the wheel of car. Other animal have to sacrifice life. Nothing reason. That's why people, you know, a million, thousand carpa years ago already put the DNA to investigate what reason to suffering. This is the big creation of the universe. And investigate what reason to suffering. This is not only me suffering, all over living big, all my relation. Let's nation to nation, people to people, once again coming together, whole corner of the universe. The pray for the global peace. This globe is our house on the altar, nothing else. Other world, don't worry. Globe will become a peace. The unite to make a miracle. This is supposed to be the UN's purpose.
Do you want to tell about your visit to
That's why our survival issue always bring UN.
Yamato just got back a month or so ago from the United Nations. It's called the Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues. And this meets every year, I think now, and it was catalyzed, birthed out of first the Year of the Indigenous People that gave the excuse for the Indigenous leaders to speak in December of 92. 93 was the Year of the Indigenous People. Then they made a Decade of Indigenous People, and then they created this permanent forum where they meet every year or so. And then Reverend Yamato was able to go this year to the United Nations and meet some of the people there. And let him tell you in the remaining minutes what happened at the UN last month or so ago.
I just visit all over the world, people screaming, crying, how much suffering. Most African people used to be rain, but this day the weather changed. Nothing water. Want to grow the food, but nothing can grow. Just to put the finger, the sucking only finger children. You have to remember all intelligent people. Easy life becoming a hard life. You know, after everybody's knowledgeable mind, nation to nation, people to people unite. This is symbol, unite. I heard about it. One more time, I want to check out the dictionary. Really important.
Did you see the bird that just flew in? God is with us right here and now.
Yes.
Arigato.
And now God left.
A little sparrow just flew in and out of the room and landed behind Yamato on the bench and flew back out. Reminds me of the bird that flew and landed on Bernie Sanders' podium when he was speaking.
Oh,
And
yeah.
everybody made a big deal out of it. But so very good. Then we have a few remaining minutes, I think. Yes.
Yes, we have a few minutes.
Me, you know, Nihonzan Myohoji organization, spiritual organization. My grandmother's period, Yang Shonin. He visited my house. That's why I remember 7 years, 8 years old. That's why I relate to all my relations. So I graduate Soto school. You know, bowing to every Buddha. This is a mantra. You know, that's why our practice is how to get out of suffering. This is the most important.
Reverend Yamamoto, I have it's an important question for me.
Okay, but make sure you understand, not Yamamoto, Yamato.
Yamato, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for correcting me. I noticed that.
But let me explain. This is his Dharma name, but this before the nation became Japan, as we know it, the rising sun Nihon, before the whole indigenous land was called Yamato, means a great harmony. And this is his Dharma name, so that's why I want to make sure that you get it right. Thank you.
Okay, Reverend, please forgive me for confusing your name. Anyway, there was a book that was written in 1962 by 23 Japanese biologists. It was called The 100th Monkey. That book is now gone from Earth, as far as I know. That book called The 100th Monkey is now gone. I've been looking for 20 years to find somebody who even saw the original book, and nobody, except for one person. I read the original book in 1988, and I believe you might have knowledge, or you might know somebody who knows of this book, written in 1962 by 23 Japanese biologists, called The 100th Monkey. So please think about that, and if you come across anything about it, let David know. Thank you.
Okay, you got me back. Sorry. So I actually have to end the meeting real quick. I have to end the meeting. It's been an hour. My parents are actually outside. They just finally.
Okay. Well, let me just leave you with with one thing. If you want to get the details on this project, the Great Spirit Relay, the easiest way is to click the hashtag GR8, numeral 8, GR8 Spirit Relay. So that's supposed to mean Great Spirit Relay, but hashtag GR8 Spirit Relay, that'll get you to our website and a whole bunch of things about this project. And globalpeaceenterprise.org is Reverend Yamato's website.
Okay. And all I want to say is I want to continue doing more of these chats with you. It's been fantastic. And watching these chats with us, and obviously we're going to get better with this program, but I love you all. Stay tuned for more chats with David and his Peace Walk, more shows on alternate perspective, the show, and Beyond Belief, and then on vacation shoots that I personally do. There's one coming up with the cacao ceremonies that Jose did here in Carpinteria. I'll be editing it soon, and you will see the on-location shoots and more of the Zoom chips. So have a good day, and love you all.